We're at IFA 2017 in Rio, and I'm joined now by Porus Kaka, president of IFA. Very good to see you again, Porus. This is, I think, the third or the fourth time that you and I have spoken at this event. This, of course, is your last as president. Just a quick first question on how you feel IFA has changed over the last 3-4 years, and we're really in the implementation stage now of the PEPS plans.
Yes, I think IFA, I think as a brand, I'm tremendously happy as to where I find the organization. If you would look just at the current Congress, to have 1,900 plus people to come to Rio in South America just shows you what the brand can attract and what it can do. So I'm at a very happy place at this point. We have a tremendous diversity now in IFA. It's no longer primarily a European organization. And ultimately also still it's the only neutral and a non-lobby organization that exists in the world. So we have government officials, judges who are comfortable to come to these meetings. So I think IFA finds itself in a unique place, and the brand is also in a very good place.
How successful has PEPS been so far, would you say? How would you characterize its success?
Well, I think you must give top marks to the MLI. I mean, to get it done in the time frame that it's done, with the signatories that it's done, is a huge achievement. You still have a few outliers like the United States you need to get on board. You need to get some of the major countries on board. So I think there it's an achievement. So the implementation phase on the MLI, I would say, is successful by and large, with the caveats that I mentioned. I think on the dispute resolution, we'll have to wait and see, because there is a promise of peer review, etc., and we see how that goes.
What do you make of public release of country-by-country reporting? Is it something you support?
I'm against it personally, only because why should it be different for country-by-country as it is to other tax details? We don't disclose other tax details, and I honestly feel sometimes, with utmost respect, the debate that happens in the public arena not necessarily extremely well informed and gets into emotion rather than understanding what the documents are. So it's not necessarily, because that would be the only reason as to why you would go public with this. So I would prefer that it remains with the authorities to whom it is supposed to be furnished to.
I spoke to Pascal Saint-Amand from the OECD yesterday, and we talked at length about the digital economy and really the gap there, if you like. Action 1, I think it is, isn't it? When is this going to get sorted, would you say? When are we actually going to come up with something that is workable?
The pressure is building. If you will see UK with the DPT, or Australia, India with the equalization levy, countries are not waiting for the changes to happen, and therefore they are going to raise their own taxes. So I think it's in the interest of everyone that you look at the digital economy. I do feel Action 1 misses the point, misses the bus, and you need to look at it. The model of business has changed, the paradigm has changed, but our PE definitions haven't, and I think you need to change them fast, or countries will start changing them for you.
Is the OECD dragging its heels on this? I mean, it's been an issue for, I mean, let's face it, okay, for 20 years they've been talking about taxing companies like that, but nothing's really been done.
So I'm not sure about dragging its heels, but certainly you can see that there is a lack of consensus. So I think that's where it finds itself, but ultimately you have to change. The business model has changed, definitions haven't, and I do feel that the digital economy is the way the business is going to go more and more. It's not going to be less and less. Tax rules have to change to keep up with it.
Okay, that's one thing, digital economy. Any other tax avoidance measures that haven't been addressed by PEPS?
Well, if you find them, let me know.
There's nothing that comes to mind for you?
No, I think, see, for example, even if you look at the MLI, the issue is, all right, we've done it, but the issue of cohesion.
Yeah.
There are so many gaps and leakages still there. Just for example, we discussed this in Subject 1. Mauritius has left India out of the covered tax agreements. Now that's a huge point, because 60% of India's investments, or a certain amount, comes from Mauritius. And if that's not included in the MLI, will there be leakages to that extent? Though of course we have a good protocol now. So I think tightening up the MLI and ensuring that the countries who are required to be on board, the United States also, is required for it to succeed.
Final question, disruption. How positive is disruption in this in this area. And I've spoken to a number of people about blockchain and the work that some authorities are doing and the money some authorities are spending, others doing nothing. Is there a first mover advantage here, or do you think waiting and seeing how it goes for the others is the way to go?
So I think, for example, what little I know, and I'm not a whiz kid on the technology part, but what little I know is blockchain can be disruptive, and it can be disruptive towards a positive and a good end. So I do believe that people should get on board, but I've seen sometimes things on technology which promise the world and ultimately not necessarily reach there. So on this part, all I can say is it does promise a lot, but I would reserve my final opinion whether it's going to be the game changer that it promises to be.
And what's next for you after IFA? I mean, I'm sure we'll see you around, but anything you want to share?
A long holiday.
Porus, thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
Porus Kaka, President of IFA until the end of Rio. That's it from me. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.